kit first.
On how to tell like what blood type is which via like how it coagulates in the circles.
And handy to identify risks, but ultimately, ideally, if you've begun your prep work,
They called it Valkyrie. When you're charged, you can name what you want. I've always heard of vampire everywhere in the Army. Have it somewhere in the shade. Go ahead and bust this open. Comes with a handy Sharpie on here for all that extra paperwork.
are really well delineated in all these instructions that it comes with, so try to make it as like.
It measures it and it tilts it. This is a little bit field expedient way. You're gonna have it lower than the heart. So you put about 6
Things because they want to trace every single unit of blood.
And then for places out here, reliability kind of to just send it. Like worst case scenario, they die. They might have already.
Just the roll kit, I was like, I'm
Waiting on all our stuff.
Sodium chloride.
and then you just strip it on that pin. On the bottom.
I can try to find one. Okay, yeah.
I might have fluffed up the juice.
So we were going through the walking blood bank packages and going through the supplies that were contained in that pack. And then talking through the process of obtaining a unit of blood from a donor and transfusing that into a recipient. We want people to be adequately trained when using this type of strategy to help save soldiers' lives. And we want to expand the number of people that know about this program and then the number of people who know how to safely use the blood transfusion kits. If we and our partner nations are following the same protocols, then communication will be smooth between countries when using this program. Well, blood is a tool that can be used to save soldiers' lives. However, it also comes with risks. And so when doing these types of activities, I always like to make sure that the soldiers and anyone who's thinking about using this type of tool knows the risks involved with the tool so that it is not done irresponsibly. When we give a unit of blood from one person to another, there's multiple risks involved with the type of blood that is being transferred. So we need to make sure that the recipient is receiving a unit of blood that will be compatible with his blood type. Otherwise, we can get a transfusion reaction that will be worse for the soldier than if we hadn't given him any blood. So we have to make sure there's compatibility between the blood types. We also have to be sure that the donor giving the blood doesn't have some type of disease that's transfusible through his blood that we would then give to the recipient. So we need to make sure it's clean, beneficial blood. And we can mitigate that risk a bit by having units of soldiers screened before they go on deployment so we can identify their blood type and screen their blood for diseases. And then we can identify which soldiers have the best blood, and so they can be our first pick of donors. Having adequate supervision and training of all the people doing the blood transfusion program is very important to make sure that it gets carried out safely and we have a overall positive effect for our patients.